Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about the lottery. Not the Powerball kind, the Bitcoin kind. My name's Ryan Bloss, and lately I've been making a bunch of videos about cryptocurrency trading bots, which I happen to be working on right now. Because it's a big project I've been working on lately, and I felt like it'd be appropriate to start making videos about what I'm up to right now. But in a broader sense, my channel is about automated streams of income. So pretty much anything that we can think of that will make money on our behalf while we're out doing other things and living our lives. And so one of the ways I'm working on an automated stream of income is by building a cryptocurrency trading bot. And once I finish that, we'll be on to the next thing. But this is one of the things that's really fascinated me lately, these desktop Bitcoin miners. And as it were, one of these things yesterday just solved a block, which is worth 3.14 Bitcoins. That's a lot. That's about $350,000 in today's money. Now, in case you're like, desktop, what? Bitcoin who? We'll explain all that here in a second. So each Bitcoin is mined by using computational power to solve a very complex math problem. And that's why you see these Bitcoin mining farms, these huge facilities with tons of computers and these intricate, vast systems to cool those computers. And they use a tremendous amount of electricity, but it's worth it because they mine Bitcoins and the Bitcoins are worth money. And so, it takes money to make money and all that stuff. However, it is possible occasionally for these smaller, inexpensive, energy efficient miners to solve a block. And when that happens, there is a tremendous bounty for a reward. Again, you solve a block, you get 3.15 Bitcoins. And so that's pretty awesome. And the fact that one of these things did it is incredible to me. And so I'm all in. I bought one. I'm going to mod it and make it a little bit better and increase my chances. Now, I wouldn't say that this is an automated revenue stream. I wouldn't call this any sort of passive income because it's like the lottery. They call these lottery miners for a reason. There's a website you can go to called sololuck.com that sort of breaks down the odds. Now, this miner, the NerdQX++, it does about 4.8 terahashes a second. And that's just a measurement of its computational power. So at 4.8, you're looking at about 1 in 1.4 million chance every single day. So 1 in 1.4 million. That's not the best odds. But again, it's better than the lottery, which Powerball right now is 1 in 292 million, I think, which is pretty crazy. Now, with this particular device, you can crank it up a little bit, you can add some extra fans, you can get a beefier power supply, and you can fine-tune the settings, and you can bring it up to about 7 terahashes per second. That gives you a 1 in 985,000 chance every single day, and that gives you about a 1 in 2,700 chance per year of winning. So it may take you 2,700 years to solve a block, or maybe you'll do it in a year or 6 months. It really just depends on your luck. But it's cool because it's kind of this respectable way of playing the lottery. Whenever I see somebody in the gas station and they're on a Friday, they're buying a bunch of scratch-offs, I always roll my eyes. I'm like, buddy, it ain't going to work. You're not going to win the lottery. The scratch-off is not going to change your life. I guess maybe for some people it does. But the odds are just not in your favor. And for the most part, I feel like scratch-off lottery and that stuff is a tax on the poor who are desperate for some financial freedom. And they feel like the lottery is the only way to achieve it. So this is kind of just it's like a nerdy way of playing the lottery. It's a little bit more respectable. And you end up with this cool, conversation piece to stick on your desk or on a shelf or on your toilet. I don't care where you put it. It's pretty interesting. People come over, they see this thing, they say, "What the hell's that, Ryan? You building some sort of bomb?" I say, "No, it's a Bitcoin miner." And they say, "You're mining Bitcoin?" And I say, "Well, hell yeah, I am. Just check this thing out." And in a sense, I am a Bitcoin miner, even though I'm a lottery solo miner and my chances of actually mining a Bitcoin are relatively slim. Now you may be thinking, Ryan, why wouldn't you just buy a whole bunch of these? Or why wouldn't you just get something like this, the Avalon Q? It's $1,800, so after tax you're looking at about $2,000. So it's about 5 times the price of something like this. However, you get 90 terahashes a second. If you crank in 90 terahashes, let's see what that is. That gives you a 1 in 76,000 chance per day, or 1 in 211 shot every single year. That's fantastic odds for the lottery. Here's the deal. As you increase your computational power, you increase 2 things: heat that the device puts out. So something like this is going to be very hot. You put it in your office is going to be cooking. You got 70-degree office, it's going to be 80 degrees if this thing's running all day. And these things also use a bunch of electricity. Not a ton compared to some miners, but as you increase that computational power, you're going to increase heat generation, and you're going to increase your energy costs. So let's say you got something that does 500. 500 gives you a 1 in 13,000 shot every day, but you're going to be using a ton of electricity. It's going to cost you like 10, 15, 20 bucks a day. I don't know. It just depends on the device you're using, I guess, and how much electricity costs in your area. But it's going to start costing you a bunch of money. And if you're spending 20 bucks a day, all of a sudden you're spending $600 a month on electricity. It starts to add up over time because now you're at $7,200 a year. Yeah, and then you may never solve a Bitcoin block, and so you're just spending like $7,000 a year. Plus, you got a $2,000 device, so now you're, almost $10,000 into this thing, and you're not making any money. But these things right here, this Nerd QX++, I don't know why it's called that, is a really cool way to get into the game without using any electricity. This thing uses just over 100 watts, so that's like a big light bulb, and it takes 5 minutes to set up. And it gives you a shot of winning. You can check it every morning and see if it solved a block. And chances are it's going to say no, but you never know. You may come home after a long day and see that this thing has solved one, and now you are $350,000 richer. And then you can take that money and, I don't know, use it for electricity and buy more miners, buy yourself a Porsche, buy cocaine and hookers. Not that I recommend or condone that, but you're free to do whatever you want. You're an adult, maybe, watching this video. You can spend your money however you choose. So anyway, I bought one of these things. I bought some mods. I'm going to throw some extra fans on it. I'm going to tune it up a little bit. I'll make a video when I actually get it to show you what it looks like. It's going to look just like the one in the picture here. Only it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to have some different fans and stuff. And then I'm going to report every now and then as to, what it's doing. It's, what the power is, what the specs are, how hot it's running, if I'm winning any money. And if I do, if this thing does solve a block, I'll go out and buy a really cool car, and then I'll do burnouts and donuts in it, and then that'll make for some more interesting content maybe than just me sitting in my office talking about Bitcoin miners and cryptocurrency bots and whatever other idea we dream up to, make money. So that's kind of the deal. That's what's going on with these lottery miners. Now, if you don't want to spend $400, you can always get something like a BitX Gamma. And those things are like $110 maybe, $120 depending on where you get it. They're pretty cool. This thing uses almost no electricity, and you can buy it on Amazon.com. Solo Satoshi is where I got my Nerd QX from, and they actually sell this thing on Amazon.com. I think it's $109. So this thing is like, I think it gets like 1 terahash a second. So it's, quarter of the power, quarter of the price of the Nerd QX++. But you buy this thing and you can officially tell people on Thanksgiving, hey, look, I'm mining Bitcoin now, and people will be really impressed. They don't know that you just have a little $100 device plugged in on your desk, but one of these things actually did solve a block. So you could potentially win $350,000 or earn a reward of $350,000 with this simple $100 BitX Gamma 602 from solosatoshi.com. I'm just shouting them out because that's where I bought my thing. They don't give me any money. They don't give me any discount codes. I've made like half a dozen YouTube videos. I'm a nobody on YouTube right now. And that's okay. But Solo Satoshi, they've got some good reviews. They look like they've got a nice website, and people on Reddit have kind things to say about them. So I've decided to give them my business. And they have all kinds of goods that you can buy on their site. There's also this cool thing that's a little bit different called the Zyber, which I want to check out at some point. This thing is like $800. This is the premium version. This thing does 10 terahashes a second. So out of the box, it's twice as powerful as the Nerd QX. It's also twice the price. It looks cool though. It comes with this little plexiglass display case. I haven't heard anything about this. Its predecessor was the Zyber 8S. And everyone's like, it's underpowered for what it costs, and buy yourself a Nerd Axe instead. And so I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about those. And I've heard absolutely no one talk about the Zyber 8G except for like one YouTube short that I saw where somebody just shows a video of one running. So I don't know. Jury's out on these things. I don't know if these are worth it. I wouldn't mind having one just because I think it looks cool. And for the most part, if nothing else, these things are cool decorations. They're cool conversation starters. It's just something interesting to have on your desk. And it's, as far as lottery tickets go, it looks a lot better than a pile of scratch-offs sitting there. It looks like you're into some cool stuff. It looks like you're doing some high-tech, sophisticated nerd stuff, which who doesn't love high-tech and sophisticated nerd stuff? I know that I do. So that's all I got for today. Just wanted to talk about these Bitcoin miners. I'm excited for mine to get here. I will report on if it's cool or not, if it's loud or noisy. If I win any money, I will report back on my YouTube channel here. If you have any questions about any of these things, let me know. I'm still figuring it out. I've just I got into this like a week and a half ago. I started reading about these and getting excited about it, and I bought one, and I'm still waiting for mine to show up, so hopefully it'll be here on Monday, maybe Tuesday. So that'll be cool. We're excited for that. So I don't know. I don't know what the next video will be. Maybe we'll go back to working on the bot. Maybe we'll start talking about a new project I have planned, which is a sniper bot, not the military kind, not like a robot with a sniper rifle, even though that would be cool. And if I had the parts and the stuff to make one, I might, maybe not. I'm talking about a Solana sniping bot. So I'm going to make a whole video on that. We won't talk about that now. But that's all I got. That's all I got. So let me know in the comments if you feel like leaving me a comment. If you have any interest in Bitcoin mining, if you are currently Bitcoin mining, and if you're going to buy one of these things, I would like to hear your success stories if you have any. I would like to see some of your mods and builds if you have some. If you're going to post some videos about it, comment and let me know about that. I would like to see what you're up to. So that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.